This 15-year-old boy was wrongly jailed for 2 years for crimes he didn't commit. The person who committed those crimes is outside of prison, walking free and enjoying life. Let me tell you about the story of Adam Frimpong. So this 15-year-old boy is called Adam Frimpong. He was arrested and then sent to court and subsequently imprisoned for 2 years because he was caught around a place where a crime was committed. According to the boy, he wasn't part of the crime. However, he was the only person who was imprisoned for that crime. You see, this story was published on the YouTube page of Crime Check Foundation on 1st August 2019. And according to interview, the boy was interviewed directly by Crime Check Foundation. This is what the boy said. You see, this boy is an orphan. As at the time they were interviewing him, that's about 7 years ago, because the incident happened in 2019. So he is an orphan. He was living previously with a mother in a place known as Bono. So whilst living with the mother over there, they had news that the father had died and the father was living in Kumasi. So the mother came for the funeral, and after the funeral, families from the father's side insisted that the boy should come and then live with them. So at that point, the mother had to let go of the boy and then transport the boy from Bono to live with the paternal side of the family in Kumasi. So the boy was living in Kumasi and everything was going on well, because according to the boy, his uncle, brother of his late father, was the one who was a driver and making a living out of driving and taking care of the whole family. So everything was pretty cool. At that time, he was enrolled in school and he was doing well. However, not long after the death of the father, when the boy came to live with the paternal side of the family, the uncle also lost his life. Now, according to the boy, there was a mystery surrounding the death of the uncle because the uncle fell in water and then died. You see, after the death of the uncle, things started becoming hard. However, since the mother was still alive, the mother was a little bit supportive. But subsequently, not long also, the mother also passed on. So now he was totally an orphan. He was left with just the grandmother to take care of him whilst he lived in Kumasi. Now, in the family home, there were his distant relatives like cousins and all those living together. So the grandmother too, because she was very old, she didn't have enough. She wasn't making much of a living to take care of herself and the boy. However, the grandmother sacrificed a lot to feed this particular boy. According to this boy, there were times where anytime he was hungry, the only option he had was to drink water and sleep, because it was the only option. He knows he won't get food anywhere. However, this boy stated that whilst his father was alive, his dad had taught him how to barb hair, so he was a good barber. So sometimes he gets people to barb their hair and then he makes some little money in order to feed and then give some to the grandmother. Despite that, things were very tough. Life was hard. There was no much of money to feed and all those things. So when he went to primary 6, class 6, he dropped out of school. He left school because he couldn't pay school fees, he couldn't afford books, and he couldn't afford anything of his school. So he had to leave school and then start hustling on the streets here and there. Now, how did he end up in prison? You see, one night his cousin, which we would just say brother, so who was older than him, a little bit older than him, told him that he should accompany him somewhere. And you know, as Africans, when your elder brother or somebody who is older than you tells you to go somewhere with him or tells you to do something, you don't ask questions, you just obey and do it. So this boy said he didn't know where he was going, and he didn't actually know what they were going there to do. However, since the person who asked him to accompany him was an elder person, he just had to follow the elder. So he went with the elder brother to that particular spot. And according to the boy, we went to around one container where he told this boy, Adam Frimpong, to stop. Now, Adam Frimpong was standing in front of the container while the elder brother went behind the container. According to Adam Frimpong, he had absolutely no idea as to what exactly the guy, his brother, went behind the container to do. So it turned out that when the brother went behind the container, he went and then sneaked and then found his way of going through the ceiling of that particular container and then subsequently tried to find himself into the container with the purpose of stealing something from the container. Unfortunately, The owner of the container, or somebody who knew the owner of the container, came around and then started asking Adom Frimpong questions as to why he was standing directly in front of the container. What was his purpose of standing there? Adom Frimpong just was like, oh, my brother told me to stand here. He's behind the container. He said I should wait here. So the man was like, what are you guys doing around my container? What is your purpose here? Blah, blah, blah. Adom Frimpong was like, I have no idea as to what you are saying. Me, I'm waiting for my brother. He has told me to wait here, and I'm just standing here waiting for my brother. So, and my brother is behind the container. You can check out. Not knowing that whilst that particular guy was trying to find his way in the ceiling, he had heard the interrogation the man was having with the brother Adom Frimpong, and then he immediately came down from the container and then took to his heels. But the owner of the container realized that somebody has climbed down and then ran, and then he saw that there's been some temper with the ceiling of his container. However, Adom Frimpong also ran, knowing very well that the brother had done something wrong. He just had to run. You know, safety first, explain or complain later. So he had to run. Just when Adom Frimpong and everybody thought that the whole thing was over, it wasn't. The man, some way, somehow, was able to identify them and then trace them to their home. Now, it was the next morning when the thing happened. The thing happened at night. The next day, exactly the morning, the man went with police officers to the home of Adom Frimpong and the brother. When they went there, Adom Frimpong's brother, the one who sneaked into the ceiling of the container, was not around. However, Adom Frimpong, this particular guy, was lying in the room, and I mean, he was nabbed because they questioned him and they found out that he was the one standing in front of the container. They asked about the brother. However, the brother was nowhere to be found. So they immediately took Adom Frimpong to the police station, where they subsequently processed him to stand trial as court. And the thing is, his brother who escaped, questions were not asked about him again, and he was the one who committed the crime. Adom Frimpong didn't commit the crime. And another thing is that after everything, the trial in the court, Adom Frimpong was slapped with a 2-year jail sentence. And the thing is, according to the rules of Ghana, anybody who is below 18 years is not supposed to be in the walls of prison like adults. So Adom Frimpong at the time was 15 years old. He wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't supposed to be sentenced to 2 years in prison. At least he could go to like a correctional facility somewhere where he would be trained and then brought back to society. However, the police who sent them there had written 18 years on his report. Adom Frimpong argued that he wasn't 18, he was simply 15. Uncles and families of Adom Frimpong came and then said the boy is not up to 18. Now, the thing is that Adom Frimpong did not have a birth certificate as evidence. He didn't have. Now, yes, it is true. The boy didn't have an official birth certificate to show as evidence that he was 15 and not 18, so that the judge could change the sentencing. However, the police were insisting he's 18. Meanwhile, the police were not the family. Families of Adom Frimpong also said that Adom Frimpong is not 18, he's 15. And even the 15, they are doubting if he's actually up to 15 years. Regardless, the judge went on with the judgment, indicating that Adom Frimpong should be sent to prison for 2 years. Adom Frimpong was sent to a minimum prison for 2 years. So it was in the prison where True Crime Check Foundation went and then interviewed him, where he was speaking. Now, this guy's story is very touching, because the thing is that he lost the mother, lost the father, lost the uncle, was struggling with the grandmother. Now, the brother asked him to accompany him somewhere. And look at where he has found himself. I mean, for something he didn't do, he's serving a 2-year jail sentence, while the person, according to him, who actually did it, is out there walking free and enjoying life. This isn't fair. This is the reason why the whole judgment wasn't fair on the part of Adom Frimpong, because even if the boy had no birth certificate to prove that he was either 15 or 18 years, I mean, Ghana is a developed country with, I mean, our systems are very developed. There are DNA tests to make to ensure that you know the exact age of somebody, or the precise or accurate age. You can either know the precise or accurate age using DNA test. So I don't know why the court did not order for DNA test. And obviously, since this boy was struggling in life from a poor background, I don't think he had a legal representative. I mean, they just did something and was sentenced. So as at the time of posting that particular video about 7 years ago, because the video about the interview with True Crime Check Foundation was posted on the 1st of August 2019. Yeah, I think so. Or is it 17? Either 2019 or 17. And they were trying to, I mean, get some money together and then appeal the case of this guy, because I mean, 15-year-old boy serving 2-year prison sentence with all this other people in the same jail. I mean, it's harsh. Simply go to YouTube, search Redwan ADS. The full video is over there. You can watch it at once. There are many stories over there too on YouTube. Everything at once. So please go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch the video, share, like, and also comment. So let's wait for the next part. It will follow suitly.